is The Powhatan Apocalypse, an interesting study in motion in paper. These pop-up books, which are built by the eighth grade geometry class, are an end-of-the-year project that allows the kids to work on several very specific areas that are not thought of as normal mathematics, but are critical to applying mathematics in a real-world setting. The thing about pop-ups is they require tremendous precision and enormous practice to really work well. So students begin to understand why you need to be precise and exact to make things work. Tiny errors means the pop-ups don't go up. Tiny errors means they get torn or they rip, or when we close the book, they don't work. But if we design them correctly, we can close the book and put it on the shelf and open it. And once again, our parrots are back. This idea of practice and this idea that I have to do, that how talented I am isn't as important as I've got to practice to make this work. It's not going to work the first time. It may work, I mean, and if it works one time, what do I have to do to make sure it works every time? So that with this project in mind, students begin to apply what they've learned in geometry class in terms of relationships between angles. Like, for instance, this particular pop-up right here works because of a shift in perpendicular lines down here. It involves both angle bisectors as well as the idea of a change of an angle. So you can actually see how this guy slowly disappears because we're shifting from parallel to perpendicular. An understanding of all suddenly they're applying the geometry in a subtle way, not in an obvious way, not using fancy formulas, but in the case of, wait a minute, the geometry makes this work. This idea of precision combined with an artistic level. So they suddenly see mathematics as something besides just something we do to build things. It's to make something that looks pretty. So there's a sense of aesthetic that something gets built in to that design. As an end-of-the-year project, it requires the kids an enormous amount of work. Many of these projects, students spent, 10, including rough drafts, 10, 20, 30 hours working on. But being to recognize that trying to do something well and really giving it your best requires that kind of commitment. What's the purpose of the lesson? Commitment, precision, and practice is what makes great students and great math students.